Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the ranking member and the witnesses for appearing. Mr. Lander, I'd like to visit with you for just a moment, if I may, please. There are some CEOs who make more in a day than some of their employees will make in a year. There seems to be a belief among many that those who are wealthy need more to do more, and the poor can do more with less. Is it material for the shareholders to want to see a living wage paid to employees, and for those shareholders to insist upon that by using the limited amount of authority that they have to have a living wage for people who are working and making it possible for CEOs to make these huge salaries? You just talked about the possibility now of $1 trillion. That's $1 trillion salary. I mean, that's more than the mind can imagine. Your thoughts, please.
Yeah. So I'll start from the people whose money I'm managing and who I represent. They are teachers and school crossing guards and secretaries and public hospital nurses and cops and firefighters and sanitation workers, like hard-working people who, largely because they organized in a union, secured retirement security. They're not making a lot of money every year, but we guarantee them this retirement security. So they're paying attention to how their money is invested. And what they mostly have the right to from me and as fiduciary duty is to make sure that it's invested well with good risk-adjusted returns. They know that companies will do better if those companies have good workforce management and live up to their own policies. So many of the companies that we invest in have policies that they respect the rights of those workers to organize a union, to seek to bargain collectively, and to have good workforce management practices. So I'll give the example on climate policies. It tends to be that our—
So talk to me about the living wage.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say there is all 5 of our funds, including the police pension fund and the firefighter pension fund, often vote for shareholder proposals asking companies, as they did at Starbucks, where we brought a proposal. We had heard that there were issues of workforce management, refusal to allow people to organize and bargain collectively. So we brought a proposal, and 52% of investors voted in favor of asking Starbucks to do an independent assessment of its workforce practices, including its adherence to international labor rights standards. And then the company agreed to do so and provided that assessment to its investors, including those teachers and cops and firefighters that I represent. That's all we're talking about here at its most aggressive. Usually those proposals don't get a majority. In this one case where they did, it resulted in a corporate assessment of its workforce policies so that investors could make wise decisions going forward.
I'm going to take it that you believe that it is acceptable for the shareholders to push inquiries that would lead to a living wage being paid to workers.
So let me distinguish at the policy level. I'm a big advocate of living wage policies broadly across the economy and have advocated for them as law in New York City and nationally. As an investor, I have fiduciary duty to focus on risk-adjusted returns to shareholders, and so I focus on workforce issues broadly, because if you immiserate your workforce and you have such rapid turnover as Amazon does, for example, that's a risk, not only to the workers,
I agree, and let me
but to investors.
This as we close this. When we're making these decisions to pay the CEOs billions, we don't seem to get into the question of how this is going to have this level of adversity as it relates to the business model that the company has. But when we talk about the people who are making $7.25 an hour or some amount of money that CEOs will give as a tip as they leave a restaurant, it becomes a big issue. We seem to think that the poor can do more with less. and the wealthy, they need more to do more. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman